people are surprised I don't recognize these people, but at the same time, it's like, not everybody watches TV. I've never been a large TV watcher, ever. When I was a kid, I did not enjoy TV, did not watch much TV.
Your teens were different to everyone else's teens.
Exactly, no, drastically.
Clients schedule readings to my manager, and then I get driven to the actual reading because I never want to know anything about where I'm going or who I'm going to read.
Traveling to LA, there's obviously some people you know, but...
Also, you're new here still.
Yeah,
We're both new here, so...
I never drive to my readings, partially because I have information coming through in the car, and mostly because I still don't have my driver's license.
Have you done any scribbling in your book to see what's coming through for today?
I've been doing a little bit.
What's that?
Eyes on the road.
Yeah.
Charlie's one of my closest friends, and I'm lucky enough to get to have her be my manager's assistant. She drives me to readings, and her sense of humor keeps me on my toes, and she also doesn't let me get too wrapped up in my own head.
But yes, it's I've been getting a reference to some stuff. It's been interesting. They're showing me lace.
Lace is in material.
Yeah.
Lace.
It's a reference to a congratulatory event, usually a marriage, and the fact that I'm with you at wedding. I'm with you at wedding. It'll take me sitting down to really establish.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you? Welcome.
Oh my gosh, great to meet you.
You too.
I recognize you.
You do?
Were you from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, was it?
I was.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Melissa's your name, right?
Melissa, yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
Great to
sorry, I
meet
should have
you.
said that.
Oh, no worries. All good. Wow.
Come on in. I'm Melissa Joan Hart, and most people know me for my work on my TV shows Clarissa Explains It All, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or Melissa and Joey. This is your
Awesome.
throne.
My abode. Oh, well, thank you again for having me.
Of course, welcome. I'm excited. I've never done anything like this, so I'm like nervous and excited and a whole bunch of emotions
No
going on.
worries.
So.
That's understandable.
I guess I've never done it because I'm a skeptic. I don't really know how much I believe somebody can talk to the dead or be clairvoyant, but also been raised a good Christian girl, and there's some things in the Bible about mediums and whatnot, so I'm taking a chance, so. Oh my God, I can't wait for this.
He's smiling.
It's so cool.
Now, the way that I work is that I work as a clairvoyant, so I see information.
Okay.
It's a gift I've had since I was a child. I believe it's a gift from God.
So I like that you said that it's a gift from God, because as a Christian, I know that there are some things in the Bible about it and whatnot, and so I was wondering what your take on all that is.
Absolutely. In looking at the verses of the Bible that speak against mediums, historically, what a medium was in that day and age and what is spoken against is very different than a medium that we might understand today.
Okay.
Mediums, historically and contextually, back in that time, worshipped other gods. There were a lot more than just connecting to people who've passed. That definition of medium was different biblically. So I believe that in this process, you know, throughout this, my goal is honestly just to deliver messages of hope, of closure, of insight, of clarity, and to do that in a way that's going to be respectful. And that very well, some people call it heaven, other people call it the other side.
Yeah.
But I do believe our loved ones do continue on, that they are with God, that they are with a higher power.
Okay.
And I believe that. And I really believe that that's what this work does.
That puts me completely at ease.
Good.
So
Awesome.
I'm excited. Let's do this.
Absolutely. Let's do it. All right.
I'm so excited.
Who knows who will come through? It could be people you know, might be people that are related to family, and
Okay.
we'll go from there. Of those objects, which would you like me to touch on first?
I think the music box.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So that would be this.
And when everybody asks me, what would you grab in a fire? This is what I would grab out of my house in a fire. But I wanted to have it here so that we could see what comes through. It would belong to someone who was very special to me.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I'll hold on to that very gently. And we'll go from there. Okay. Okay. There is a reference. Okay, thank you. Oh, she's bringing in an S. First one, a reference to who's Effie, Ethel, or some form of that connection.
Ethel is my paternal grandmother.
That'd be your paternal grandmother. Okay, so that would be the connection. I just wanted to make sure, because I'm like...
And S is probably Stanley, my maternal grandfather.
Sure. When he comes through, he's very, how do I put this? He's interesting.
He's tough.
He is. He's very stoic, is the way that I would describe it when he's coming through to me.
Yeah.
He's showing me that he actually made a piece of furniture, interestingly. But he's showing me like the equivalent of like a stool, or I don't know what this is. It's like, has a flat surface on it, but he's referencing to it.
Okay.
It's like, save the thing.
Good things. No, up in her bedroom. No, it's
like a dollhouse, is it?
No, definitely. It would be smaller than a traditional table.
It's the home chest. Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, there's a few things. He made a lot of furniture, a lot of things.
Okay.
And so we do have a bunch of those, but I'd be interested to hear what my mom thinks about that.
For sure. Okay. Thank you. Aw. I like this woman. She's so cute.
Okay. I'm already gonna cry.
It's all good, no worries. I have the sweetest woman coming through who is so excited to get to connect to you and is the biggest cheesy smile. And she's acknowledging that she was with you even before I got here today and that she knew that she was waiting to come through. She's also immediately wanting me to talk about the wedding. She's wanting me to reference lace. The reference to lace is always for me an indication of like a wedding or wedding reference. It's a symbol. Now on the car ride here, I had a grandmother coming through and I got this feeling that she was referencing to say, you know, hey, tell my granddaughter that I was at her wedding and that I know about the wedding. She knows that she's still prayed to very regularly. She talks about how she's still talked to at night. She keeps saying, I love you too, I love you too. She acknowledges this because she's saying that it's been verbally said, like, I love you. I love you. I hope you can hear. And she's like, I love you too.
That's
and I hear.
amazing. That's amazing.
She acknowledges that. Please know that.
Well, that was, well.
Yeah?
I don't know what I can tell you.
No problem.
That was hers.
Okay.
And the music that plays on it was played at my wedding. And as it started, my mother and my father were on either side of me at the wedding, and we said a prayer to her, so.
That's amazing. She remembers you as a little girl, so she's surprised to see you how you are now. And she's so immensely proud of you and so thankful for everything that you've been able to do because you've made her so proud. She is wanting me to talk about a lot. She has a lot to say. She's referencing to the fact that she feels like she's showing me that she was like the glue that kept things together. Yeah. She's referencing to the fact that there was a divorce. Yeah. She's talking about the divorce. She's talking about, like, she's aware of this. She's saying it was inevitable from her perspective, but she's like, I know about it, and she's acknowledging that this actually created, like, a situation in the way that this comes across that would have affected not just the two people involved.
Oh, my God. My parents got divorced right after she passed away, and there were 5 kids involved.
She's very supportive of your mom, and she is at peace and has closure with how that situation went.
Oh, my God.
Because people have said, like, oh, God, if she were here to see this, like, you know, she would not be happy
well,
with
that's, I think my mother has said that if her mother had been alive, she wouldn't have divorced my father. So
right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so she actually is acknowledging, like, you know, this was inevitable, and I actually am glad that you went your separate ways.
Yeah. Oh, this is freaking you out.
And there is an acknowledgement of that because she knows that that was the big volatile thing that happened around this. So, yeah, that would be the reference.
Okay.
So she has a lot of closure with that.
Wow. This is crazy. Like, all this stuff, like...
It's a lot to take in.
It's like my family history happening right here. Like,
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's... Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. She is bringing me to her passing. She's just going to quickly touch on this. She's bringing me up here. She's referencing to this. When they do this to me, this usually indicates brain or head. I don't feel particularly unhealthy, is the way that I would describe this. But she is acknowledging that something happened to her, like, quickly. I don't know what this is or how to even really describe this, but she's bringing me to head and referencing to everything changed after the head. I don't know if that makes any sense.
She had a stroke.
Okay.
And then she was in a coma.
Right. The next point that I want to make that we have to talk about is in the car right here, the same individual that was coming through was referencing to the fact that she did not want to be kept on life support and discussed that there was a situation about having to make a decision to let someone go.
I turned around because I had to make that decision.
She acknowledged that she knew and that it was okay that she was let go, that this was a decision that, like, needed to be made, and she was fine with that. She didn't want to be kept alive artificially.
That would be very important information for my mother, who had to make that decision.
Absolutely. So. Makes sense. She actually knew that her hand was being held, and though she wasn't conscious at the time, she's acknowledging, like, thank you, because you gave me my permission to pass. So that would be her way of acknowledging that, because she's like, I knew there was no getting out of this. and I'm okay. And there's that sense of relief. She loved her life. She
was a very joyful woman, and she, you know, was just an angel to all of us. And so, you know, her untimely passing was just a devastating moment in our family.
Sure, absolutely.
For a very long time.
That's good. All this is stuff that you needed. This is all stuff that nobody knew.
Your grandmother's referencing to a man that's coming through. He's a character. I like him. We're gonna bring him through. So usually men tend to die first before women. They're saying this was reversed. Is that true to your knowledge? Cool.
Like 29 years before.
Wow.
Yeah, like a while before.
Jeez. Okay. Because she's acknowledging that she was still around him as he went throughout his life.
Yeah.
They have a very funny kind of a situation the way it's coming across. She's giving him a hard time. She's joking about him moving on.
He did remarry.
And then she's referencing to a red rose for whatever reason.
Oh, my God.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God.
My grandfather married a woman named Rose.
Oh, okay, so it's a symbol.
Yeah.
That would be it. Okay, cool.
That's crazy.
She's at peace with how that went, and I think honestly at that point, upon passing, she understood. So.
Okay, great.
Definitely. So thankfully for most of family, fertility looks really good, and that's an issue that a lot of people deal with. But in this case, I'm not concerned. Interestingly, though, they are referencing that they are with a child that did not get to be born. Your grandmother's referencing to it. Your grandfather's referencing to it.
Okay.
Very strongly that they're with and have reconnected with a child that didn't get to be born. When they do that, that always acknowledges to me that that's a child that would have either been a stillborn or a miscarriage type of a situation.
Okay.
It's not for you, but it would be for someone else.
Okay.
And they're actually acknowledging that they're with this child. So whoever suffered that, I think that's more of a message to say, like, they're.
I have a lot of sisters, so that's.
Sure.
There could be some secrets in there that I don't know about. So.
Yeah.
You.
The way this comes across is, honestly, this child is at peace. His soul continues to live on, and as far as what happens after that, that's more of a family thing, to get an opportunity to have closure.
Okay.
But definitely is around.
Okay.
This is incredible.
Yeah, so there would be that. Any additional questions we could touch on?
Well, I would like to bring out my mother and my sister.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd love to meet them.
All right.
Yes.
Mom, Emily, guys, come on in.
This is weird.
Awesome. I'm excited to meet them.
They wanted to meet you.
Oh, yay. Oh my
This
gosh.
is Tyler. This is Paula and Emily.
Great to meet
Nice
you.
to meet
Lovely
you.
meeting you.
So cool.
Yes, were you guys listening in on the reading?
Oh, yeah. We have
Yes.
notes.
Oh, awesome.
We took notes. I was extremely skeptical.
Sure.
Crazy. Some of the stuff that you were pulling out was just like,
Yeah,
you know, stuff that, I mean, only we would know.
sure.
So,
Absolutely.
definitely really amazing.
Well, what you said about my mother really resonated with me because I always wondered, did I make the right decision?
Wow.
So it was good to know, really good to know. And the table,
Yes.
Pop's table,
Yep.
it's gotta be the hope chests he built.
Oh my gosh.
The hope chest. I have one in the garage, you have the other
I have two.
Ah, that would be why you mentioned it most likely then.
Well, thank
you
you.
guys so much.
Well, thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Oh, you're
Thanks
so
for coming.
sweet. Absolutely.
This was
so great
amazing.
meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
I feel like with the information Tyler gave us, my mother and my sister and I will go share this with the rest of the family, and it'll bring a lot of closure, a lot more love and understanding to our family. And I feel like, you know, and maybe in some sense now I'm not so worried about going to the other side because it seems like everybody's doing okay.
Awesome. Thank you
Take
again.
care.
Hope to see
Thank
you
you
again.
so much.
Thank you so
I really
much.
appreciate
Have a
it.
good one. Thank you.
That was crazy. I don't know how he knew all that stuff. I mean, I know now. I feel drained. I can't imagine how he feels.
This is so surreal. That reading was so intense. My head is still spinning.
This was just amazing. We were just flipping out about all this.
That was really powerful.
There is stuff there that nobody has ever spoken about. Well, it put stuff to rest for me, for sure, about how I felt responsible for turning off my mother's
I knew that
life
would be
support.
important. I'm glad that that was there for you.
It was incredible.
That was amazing. So, yeah, I'm a believer.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Thanks for
wonderful.
Let's have a
inviting
hug
us
for them. Love you guys.
I think in getting this reading, Melissa's perspective was broadened because in the beginning she acknowledged having a very strong Christian belief system, which I absolutely respect. And I'm really thankful that she took the time to be able to get a reading because ultimately I think she left it with even a stronger sense of faith in seeing that there is a connection to the other side, that it does exist, getting that validation that loved ones are at peace in a better place. I may or may not have had a crush on Melissa Joan Hart as a little mini-me, so it was a little surreal.
I'm like your super fan.
Oh my God, so great to meet you.
How are you? I'm Soleil. My name is Soleil Moon Frye, and Tyler may have seen me on the show that I did from the time I was a little girl, Punky Brewster, or Sabrina The Teenage Witch, which I did with my really good friend Melissa Joan Hart, who loves Tyler.
Great, well thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I saw the show and loved it immediately. And then, of course, my very dear friend Melissa Joan Hart did it, and she said, "You gotta do this."
Oh, that was crazy. I don't know how he knew all that stuff.
And so I was very excited. And I also lost some family early on in my life, and I love any chance I can to connect.
So have you ever gotten read by a medium?
I've gotten read, yes.
Nice, awesome.
I have my mom watching today. She is such a special part of my life, and I'll get emotional, but like, she's just my rock. She raised me as a single mom with my brother, and she was just always there. And she'll probably remember things that I won't remember because she remembers everything. So I'm happy that she's here.
Certain people on the other side are better communicators than others, so my job is always to go with the strongest communicator. I have people coming through already. Like I can't even get through my speech. Okay. For one, I feel like I have to acknowledge man, Cancer. I'm bringing this up. I feel like I start lower and it spreads upper. There's a feeling immediately that comes through of him being like, you're gonna have to drag me to a doctor. And he put it in a bit of a different way than I would put it, but it's like, I don't want to have to get chemotherapy, get radiation, go through this whole thing. I'm done. I feel like I don't want to sacrifice my quality of life by doing these things that I feel are going to deteriorate the time that I have. You know who that could potentially be?
Yes.
Perfect.
That would be my godfather, Joseph, who was a huge part of my life. He walked me down the aisle at my wedding, and he's always been there from the day I was born on. He wanted to go in the most peaceful way possible. He certainly went on his own terms,
right.
In everything in life.
Right, no, absolutely. He comes through with this and acknowledges this was my decision, and I just want everyone to be okay with that. That would be the first message.
Losing Joseph was one of the hardest experiences of our life. He was a second dad to me. He was such an incredible force of light and love and joy in our lives.
It's so weird because at the time, there's a feeling of like, I'm not at home and I need to get home. The feeling is like being in a familiar environment.
Before he passed, he came to be with my family.
Right.
And then at the very end, he went back to his home.
The reason why I want to bring this up is because he's acknowledging a feeling of when others were afraid to see him. He's giving an appreciation for the fact that you didn't back down. And his feeling is like, look, I know who wasn't there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were.
Absolutely.
And his perspective is basically thank you, because from where I'm at now, I know the truth of who really cared about me and maybe who just said they cared about me in life. And the feeling is thank you, thank you, thank you. Because the feeling is like you're gonna face this ugly truth, but you still love me enough to be there for me. when other people stand back. And that's the best thing that could have been done for him.
It was incredibly hard to say goodbye, and I'll never forget, he came to our home in California, and he had cancer throughout his body, and we set up a bed in the dining room, and I would curl up into bed with him, and we would just talk all day and night. And I think the one thing that gets me through it is that belief that there's more to all of this.
This is strange. Okay. I'll just go with it. Let's see what pops in. Okay, so I'm seeing art supplies, I'm seeing an art brush. So this is very clearly very much about art symbology. Who would have been the artist or had the art connection?
My dad was an artist.
Okay.
My father's name was Jaleel White. He was a boxer, he was a Golden Glove champion, he was an actor, he was a painter, he was a political activist.
Wow.
Yes, he was a very colorful person.
Yes, that's incredible. So do you have any objects for him?
Sure.
We'll see what we start with.
Here we go.
Awesome. Oh, wow, okay, it's a big object. All right, we'll see what comes through. Okay. So it's interesting the way this comes across because he comes through and he acknowledges a reference of having to kind of take on, taking care of mom, taking care of mom, taking care of mom. Taking care of mom. It just keeps coming through over and over and over again. Let's see what this is. Is mom still living currently?
Yes.
Okay. I hope so. I'm talking about where she's at physically, and I feel like mom who is living somewhere else, maybe living with us, or thinking about making a move, or thinking about bringing her closer. I feel like mom has to get closer. It's coming through over and over again. And again, it's coming through from dad of a feeling like, get her closer, bring her closer.
We've been talking about it.
It's popping in. Does that make any sense?
Yes. My mom and dad separated when I was very young, but they stayed friends throughout my life. So their friendship ran so deep, and so there was always so much love there. My mother's living situation right now is very tough. And there's been a lot of questions about us wanting her to be closer, certainly.
Sure. Just give me one sec. Oh. And then he's actually watching over your mother's health. This is interesting because he's having me talk about her health, and then he's having me bring up the past 4 months. Wow. Do you, at this point actually I'm kind of curious because these messages came through from mom really, really strongly. So to whatever extent you're comfortable sharing, what's going on with mom?
My mom found that she had breast cancer. So she's been going through those treatments as well.
Wow. Please do I think that she's gonna be okay? Oh. Yeah, this is so weird. He's been with her every single day.
My dad?
Yeah. For like 4 months randomly. I know it's kind of strange.
It's been exactly 4 months.
And he never let go of her. He never ever let go. Usually after a while, they'll kind of visit less, but he's still very connected to her. He's showing her having to get tests, and he's having me acknowledge these 2 tests that I have to bring up of like, we go in for testing twice. And there's a feeling that comes through of like, I don't want us to be concerned about this because I feel like this sounds a lot scarier than it could be. And I definitely think it would be a good idea to have her, because it's like, move her in, have her come closer.
Yes. I want her closer.
Her thing is not wanting to be taken care of. And this
Yes.
is the thing that comes through. Dad comes through and acknowledges immediately like, I know. Because it's like it's like pulling teeth. It's like she just does not want to be a burden, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
we have to acknowledge this, thank you.
To hear that my dad's been with her throughout this medical process was incredibly emotional. To know that there's that protection, that love is wonderful. You are holding some of my father's ashes.
Oh, wow, okay.
But he would love being on camera because he certainly loved the spotlight.
That's interesting. Held a lot of unique objects in my time, but it's awesome.
Can we talk to dead people all day
You
long?
know it. I'll be here. I'll just be scribbling. I'll run out of ink.
I was so blown away by what my dad was saying about my mom, and he couldn't have been more accurate in what's been going on with her. The one thing that, you know, gets me through it is that I have such a strong belief in there being more, you know, and that there's more to all of this. And so I think that's something that's very comforting. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. Crazy. It was so incredible and just so beautiful to be able to connect.
How much are you loving a new place then?
Oh, it's so nice. It's really, really peaceful. It's been like amazing.
Amazing.
And Pearl's been great. She's been loving it.
Is she bringing you so much joy?
She is. It's so sweet. She'll fall asleep in the middle of the night and she'll be all
Does she like
snoring.
snuggle into your head?
She does, and she drools.
Oh, lovely.
She's just so cute.
Does she like, you know, because they have that funny snotty nose thing?
She'll sneeze constantly, and like the other day she sneezed in my mouth, and I didn't even care. Didn't even care.
Did she actually?
She did, right directly.
Was your mouth open?
It was like a, it was wide open.
God. That is serious love for you, because you're a huge germaphobe. Like,
Yes.
unbelievable germaphobe, so that is saying something. God, you love her.
It was love. Oh, look, looks like we're here.
Looks like we're here.
Alrighty.
Cool.
All right, see you. Hello.
Hey, Tyler, how you doing?
Great to meet you.
Jaleel, it's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute
Oh my
pleasure.
gosh.
Come on in, come on in.
Happy to be here.
My name is Jaleel White, and Tyler might recognize me from Family Matters. I've played Steve Urkel and Stefan Urkel for 9 years. He might recognize me from Dance with the Stars. Depends on his footwork. I don't know.
All right. Awesome.
Have a seat, have a seat.
Happy to be here.
Be cozy. Happy to have you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so excited to see like what comes through.
In the back, I've got my agent Tracy and I've got my manager Chris. Chris has completely put me up to this. He is the biggest believer in all of this. He probably wants to be in this hot seat right now, but I'm sitting in it for us. So Tracy and Chris, keep the laughter down.
You know, before I start, I always kind of like to explain my process. My goal in doing this is really just to see what comes through and hopefully give some information that's going to be helpful and useful for you in your path. And that, for me, is what it's all about. So I already have a lot popping in, and on the way here, I was already tuning into a lot.
It's just stuff popping around me right now?
It is. Popping everywhere.
Okay. Hey, okay. All right.
So usually the way this will work is I'll hold onto an object. Did you bring any objects today for me to hold on?
You know, I brought something small,
Cool.
a pen that belonged to someone.
Awesome.
That was
I'll hold on to it.
in my life.
Awesome. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of communicate everything that I feel. Now, as of right now, I already have a lot popping in. And I like to get details that can't be researchable, can't be Googleable. So we'll get there, but...
You're making me fidget.
No, no worries.
Makes me fidget.
It's all good. It's okay.
I'm very anxious. I'm a Sagittarius, man. So I'm like, that means I'm open, but I'm skeptical. You know, I'm not a cynic, but if the magic trick is bogus, I'm definitely headed to the next room.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. That's random. Okay. Let me look. Got you, and you. There's a reference. This is interesting. It's not family. Yeah. I have this individual that's coming through that's giving me a feeling basically passing away at a time frame in which one would view from the outside perspective as being like someone's peak of life, in a time frame where someone should be really at like a good point. The feeling on from an age perspective is my life gets taken away from me, but the feeling is like cut short, take it away. There's a feeling of like, in the way this is kind of coming across, I'm snapping my fingers, which indicates like a quickness or a fast passing, but the feeling is an acknowledgement of dying too soon.
Is that Michelle?
Okay. Do you know, I have to reference this, the month of September, and then I have to acknowledge, seeing balloons. Do you know of any September birthdays?
Oh, gosh. September birthdays. More October stuff.
Sure. Late September would be where we'd be looking. Think anywhere like after the 21st would be when we go back and look at that. Let me look.
Get up on this web and see if I can help you help us.
September 23rd.
Yeah, she was born on September 23rd.
Let's quit this younger person. This is popping.
Whoa. Whoa.
Do tell.
Whoa. You said that September birthday?
September birthday.
Is young?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the feeling was younger, and then but the feeling, if this is 4/8, it would be later in the month, I was thinking. But let me look.
Yeah, I know who that could be.
Okay. The feeling was a reference to this individual.
Yeah, I know who that could be.
Having me reference this individual. The feeling was that it felt very sentimental, and this is coming through as a female, not a male.
Yeah.
There is a, let me look and see that.
How would this person know me, though?
The feeling that comes across, this is interesting. It's not coming through his family. It's not a family member.
No.
In the way that this is connecting. They're like, friend, acquaintance, it's just popping in.
He knows it's her.
Mm-hmm. He does. He does.
Because of the unresolved elements.
I probably could have named the person way sooner than I did. Like, way sooner. I'm not in the habit of making myself that vulnerable. I cherish what I cherish. I don't like it mocked. I don't like anything misinterpreted. We live in a world sometimes where other people's pain is somebody else's entertainment. You know, I'm sure he's toying with me in certain aspects. I can feel him, and I'm kind of toying back to, you know, validate his ability.
What's weird about this is she's having me bring up, there's this feeling of being distanced, but it's coming across in a way that is almost like I didn't get to kind of say what I wanted to say to kind of solidify the relationship, to say what terms we're on. The feeling is like, we don't really have that catch up, or that feeling of like...
Definitely.
Yeah, and so there wasn't really an opportunity to say
There was no goodbye.
Right.
There was no goodbye.
And that fits. She's interrupting me. Oh, give me one sec. Music. When she's coming through, she's having me reference to the people that she would have been around, social groups, the people that she would have been close to. She's bringing up music, people in the music industry or music people, and it's coming through really strongly, and she's having me kind of refer to this group of people.
Okay.
There's a reference to what looks like Ellie, or Lily. I'm looking at what looks like E, and then L, and then L, and then E is kind of the only way that I would be able to describe it.
You can't be messing with me, dog. Come on, man. You gotta be Googling this stuff, dog, before you come in here, dog. Come on, we're not gonna do this.
What is that?
Come on, man.
Seriously.
You messing with me, dog.
No, not in the slightest.
You messing with me, dog.
No.
Come on.
No, that's what's coming through. Who is that?
September birthday, sudden passing, E-L-L-E. No Google.
No Google.
This is just...
This is embarrassing. I don't even recognize you.
Don't worry about that part. We'll talk about that later. It gives me joy you don't know who I am. It gives me joy. Okay, talking about Michelle Thomas.
Okay.
She was my old co-star from Family Matters.
Right.
And she died of stomach cancer. Quickly.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And she had a lot of friends. She had a lot of friends in the music industry. Come on, man, you gotta be Googling stuff, man. This is crazy, bro. Her birthday, September 23rd, 1968.
Wow. Wow.
So that's 2 days after the 21 you said.
All right.
You about to get me memed up on Instagram. Not that grandpa. All right. You almost hope, sitting in that chair, that he's a hoax and that he's completely off base and you can just play along for TV's sake. And then you start to realize, no, this guy is the truth and he's mining your heart right now. And you don't know how you feel about it in the moment. And that's why it's just like, yo, just give me a quick second. You didn't really get me until you said E-L-L-E with regards to Michelle Thomas. actress. She played my love interest on the show. She had a mad crush on me and my character. I think we just had a very innocent relationship. We weren't involved, but I think people underestimate sometimes the connection and the bond you can make when you perform on a stage with somebody, and the types of scenes that we had, and the type of interaction that we had. And I was pretty naive growing up about human nature. The only place where I was, you know, a legit prodigy and kind of ahead of my time was on that stage working. The second I stepped off that stage, I was a kid and surrounded by adults that knew a lot more about life than I did. So, you know, when I get choked up, though, about Michelle, I loved her in a very, in an honest, just spirit-to-spirit way. It's just kind of like, she would have been one of my great long-term friends. It might be a guy thing or what, I don't know, where you just kind of end up in denial a little bit. You know, it's like, nah, she'll fight this. And, you know, it's just, she's got all this love around her. And then before you know, you just get a phone call. Your reaction is disbelief when you receive a phone call to say that somebody too young has passed away. That I can't be any more direct in that. Your reaction is just disbelief, wondering if they knew how you felt about them, wondering if you knew how they felt about you.
She's having me feel like not that long before, I feel like I'm having a good time. The feeling is like I'm in a mood that feels very up, almost like I'm getting ready to celebrate or I'm getting ready to like do something fun. But the mood is very light. I feel like there's this upness, this sense of like, you know.
With a great dinner. And it was just like, it was my mother put it on, her mother put it on. It was just like, the people who loved her most were at this dinner. And like within a couple months after that dinner, she was gone. It was quick. It was quick. So that's where the no goodbyes come from.
Right. Those are memories that she valued clearly so much. You know?
All that dinner is vivid. It's vivid. You know, there were choice individuals around that table that made her happy, and I feel honored to have been one of them. I just regret being so young I didn't understand the significance. He's not supposed to know about that. So I'm dealing with the revelation that this guy is the truth. When somebody leaves your life abruptly like that, the natural reaction is to just kind of put up a wall and remember them in silence. So, for a stranger to have the ability to probe your mind and pull that out of you, it's a very strange vulnerability. And, you know, I don't even know if I'm comfortable with it, but hey, it's real.
I'm curious about this, because this is quite a unique object. Who did this belong to?
Am I supposed to turn over the card now?
Oh, no worries. Oh, actually, okay, actually, a better question is, have I brought through the person that's connected to this?
No,
okay,
not
good.
at all.
Then good thing you did not answer that. Great, okay, lovely.
And if that person doesn't even visit us,
no worries.
Chuck it.
No.
Like,
no, kidding.
Seriously. I just thought she might have something to say to me. Right. You know, I'm doing better than she probably thought I would be doing.
No worries. Let me look and see real quick, and I'll just see if we get anything about it.
Yeah, just give her a wink and just, you know.
I'll look and just see real fast. She's having me talk about the time that she passed away. She's having me feel like some things came unglued, but it's not with you, it's with some other people.
Yeah.
And she's having me bring up loaning money. I don't know what this is. She's having me bring up an instance in which there's a situation regarding loaning money. It's like doing a favor and then not getting the loan back. This is a very random thing for someone to bring up. I deserve to get compensated. And then you're like, you're not compensating me.
10% beyond the grave.
And it's like, where's the money? What a weird thing.
Chris! What is going on, man?
Like, where's the money? Like, it's a weird...
Chris! This is so spooky, man. I need a cuss button right now because people don't know me, all right? Me. Don't just sit back there and be quiet, man.
She's very particular.
This bitch is talking about where's my money from the grave.
Coming after you, thought you could get rid of
Of all the nerve, too. Of all the nerve. So you want me to connect the dots for you? Are you gonna keep going? I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I can't believe you got that.
Chris is my manager.
Right.
Chris was the assistant to this woman.
Oh, nice.
This woman was my child agent who discovered me when I was 3 years old.
Wow.
And she was an amazing talent scout.
Right.
She could just be a little selfish sometimes. And money hungry and money driven and petty.
Right.
And she could pick young performers like nobody's business.
Right.
She represented River Phoenix, me, Joaquin Phoenix, Kirsten Dunst, Fred Savage. Her legacy is unmatched as far as kids were concerned. She was a Broadway dancer herself, who, reinvented herself as a child agent.
No doubt. She's so proud of you for everything you've been able to achieve. And she's joking the way it comes across. She's like, where's my money? So I guess it happens. I mean, I guess you can take it with you.
What a surreal day. I'm circling this day on the calendar, man. Whoa.
Oh.
She said, where's my money? Which is vintage her. And, she's like, I'm proud of you, which I actually would believe her. I actually would. She altered my life irreversibly at age 3. Sometimes the closure that we seek with certain people wouldn't even be from people that we left on good terms with,
Do you have any questions about your personal situation, personal anything?
I'm scared to ask. I got my child agent. Oh, man, this is real.
Wow.
Look, I gotta shake this off. You made me cry, you made me giggle.
Oh, good.
Tyler, just get out. Get out, Tyler, get out.
I'm
Get
ready.
out.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much, sincerely.
No, you're amazing. I'm joking around, man. That's real.
Wow. It is.
Oh, I'm definitely a believer. There's so much that, you couldn't explain. And we waste our time in this lifetime trying to figure it out from a scientific standpoint sometimes. Sometimes you need to just enjoy the magic of something. So, he offers you 2 hours of enchantment is what he does. Oof. That's draining. That's draining. He kind of takes you like on a journey of your life, He really does. He takes you on a mental journey that it goes from laughter to tears. It really does.